I'm just waiting for everything to go live now. I don't know if this is already live. It should be turning on soon, hopefully. There we are. Just want to check the audio quality, see if it's okay. I'm just waiting for everything to go live now. There we are. Perfect. Okay, I'll leave this so I have my chat. It's a little bit delayed, but that's okay. So, I'm gonna be upgrading my PC here. I have a few different camera angles and things set up, so I'll quickly run through it. This is like my living room, so I had more space here, so that's why I'm here. The stream might be a little bit scuffed. The audio quality might not be the best because the microphone that I have generally picks up a lot of background noise and stuff as well. So it is, I should point this slightly differently. It is pointed like the right way for the input for my voice, but there's also a lot of traffic outside, so we'll have to deal with that, and there's some noise as well in general. It picks up the fan of the laptop that I have to use, because obviously I cannot use the PC since we're, you know, rebuilding it basically. But that's okay. I see there's a few things already in chat. Nice PC upgrade. Which components have you changed, or the entire PC? Let's quickly run through the components. The plan is to mainly reinstall basically the whole motherboard section. So all of the disks are the same, the power supply could be the same, the cooling is the same, but I'm going for this thing here, an MSI motherboard, as you can see, for the Ryzen, which goes together with the Ryzen, which is this is the 580, I think. Yes, Ryzen 7 5800X, 5800X. So that's there. New graphics card, nice. And then some new RAM as well as a new main hard disk. So 32 gigs of RAM, which is nice. 2x16. So that's the plan. The whole idea is obviously putting it into the same case and the same other components. So we'll have to dismount the stuff first, and that's what we're going to start with. So I'm just going to put it down. Now it is a bit dirty, so I'm going to clean it as well maybe. But we'll do that once all of the components are out. That way it's just easier. This might not be the best camera angle, so let's switch to some different scenes. I have a scene with, you know, a little bit more of an overview. I can move this camera as well to give you guys close-ups if you want. And then we can also go to just this camera here. But for now I think I'll stay here, because then I'm a little bit in view as well. Hello Dash, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Nice to see that many people are interested in this stuff as well, not just the music side of things. Looks like your PC, well then you should get your PC cleaned as well, I think. Yeah, mine, in the inside it's a little bit worse. Now that I have the second camera, I can show you, like, right here you can see there's just spiders and stuff. So I am pretty nervous about this, because it has been 8 years and a lot of things have changed in PC building. So I might need some of your help as well, or visit the guide or something. Transferring all the plugins is a nightmare, I know, it's going to be wild. So the very first thing that we need to do is I want to get out all of the components that we're going to replace. So that means probably screwing out the fan here, otherwise the motherboard won't come out. I can show you. The fan of the cooler right here is just above the motherboard, so I think this one needs to go out. I might take out the whole cooling system first actually, because also these tubes kind of, you know, run over the motherboard. So the goal is take everything out, clean it, and then put the new stuff back in. I think the cleaning part is best done when it's empty. Spiders, yes, spiders in the computer, yes. Yes, there should be. Actually, that's a good thing that you mentioned the filters. There is a filter in here, but I need to break open the whole front of the case, which might be a good idea anyway, because it looks very dirty. But there is one of those air filters in here, as well as for the power supply. It's just been that I haven't cleaned it for a long time, so hence all of the dust buildup. At some point, you know, even you know, having a fan right here, it just sucks in so much air that at some point, if you don't clean the filter, it does get dusty inside. And also, I think what might happen is that a lot of the air comes through here, through these holes. So this is how the case normally works, and then the fan of the GPU is like right above or right behind these things, and you can see this panel here as well is dusty. So I think maybe some air gets pulled in with dust as well, and then obviously it doesn't go through the filter. Disconnect the fans, yes. Obviously we have to disconnect everything because it's all installed in the motherboard. What I think I'll do is first get this part of the cooler. Let's get a better camera angle on this thing here. Like so maybe. I'll uninstall this part of the cooler and then screw this out and then just get the whole cooler out. I think that will be a little bit easier to remove everything. And then we'll go from there. This should just... Where is this one of those? I have a lot of different screwdriver bits, so it's a little bit of seeking the right one. Because these cooler screws are a little bit strange looking. Obviously I don't want to push too hard. Or maybe are these... No. They are very strange screws. This might become a little bit of a problem actually. I think maybe this one. See if that's will open it. It's a little bit better screw there. Yes, there we go. That's the first one. Let's turn it. But I had to put a lot of pressure on it. Give yourself more room removing the GPU. That might be an option. That's a good idea. I'll get that out. Do I have to clamp it open, right? Yeah. This is still one of those PCI slots with the protection in there. Okay, GPU is out. I'm just going to put everything, old stuff, behind here on the couch. This is going to be a mess. I'll get the wire out here for the CPU fan. No. Is it turning? I think it is. And the water cooling. Yeah, the water cooling, that was the first thing that I thought of, because it's basically covering up the RAM as well and that whole area. Right, like the RAM sticks are here, and then we have the fan as well as the cooler itself, as well as these tubes, basically covering this whole area up, which would make it hard to get it out. I also need to modify the cooler because now it's in a different socket, so we'll have to see how that works. Okay, last one here. Oh, that's not a good idea. Don't do that. Like, this is actually... The problem is that the screws are very flimsy, right? You can see how there's like, it's no longer a cross, right? Can you see it in the camera? Focus, please. Might not focus in too well on that. Have some work in progress. The thing is, all of the work in progress is right here on the hard drive. So it's gonna be a little hard to do that, since, you know, it's not plugged into a working computer. I have everything backed up as well, so it's not that I'm in danger of losing anything, any projects. This is like actually stuck to it. The screw is so messed up. Maybe I can show this one. You can see it's basically a square now. The cross is completely gone, so I cannot really open it. Maybe. Yes. Maybe I can give it a starting push with one of these pliers here. Just give it a few turns and then it will catch on the screwdriver, maybe. Hoping that I can get the grip on it. This is a bad idea, by the way, don't do this. But it is opening, so that's good. Still, I don't think it's good for your components. Yeah, okay, so now it's out. We don't need this anymore. Try grabbing it with pliers. Yes, the stream is a little bit delayed for me because doing it over Wi-Fi, there has to be a longer delay than usual. So sometimes when you type in chat or when I get to see the chat, things have already happened. So now I'm gonna turn this whole thing. Keep all the screws nicely to the side. And we'll get rid of the screws for the cooler. This means that I don't have to get the fan off the cooler as well, which saves a little bit of time. I have to keep holding on to it though. Brute force, yes. I mean, as long as everything goes well and the upgrade is completely successful, then I don't need the components that, or like that we could be damaging here. But again, as a backup, it's nice to keep them around and keep them in a good condition, so that if something goes wrong, which I don't expect there will be, Okay, it's pretty hard to get that out. Put this there. So now I'll detach all the cables from the motherboard, get the motherboard out, and then we can start to clean this thing. Detach power cable. Hope the thermal paste is ready to use. I've got backup thermal paste, so we're going to be applying this and just scraping it off the cooler, you know, to just have it fresh. Do I need to hold something for this? Ah, there it is. This one as well, yes. Cables really have been like bent into shape here. This should be the last one. And now I can start to move out this motherboard. Now, after we remove this, I need to clean it. And I have a vacuum, which could work. But I don't know what the best one. I don't have one of the. I know you should be getting the compressed air things, but I couldn't get them. You know, the can of compressed air with the spray thing on top that you spray the air out of, so that you can use it to kind of blow away the dust. Oh, there's another fan cable there. Dust air can be like around 100 euros for air. Are you sure? What kind of air is it? A paintbrush. Maybe I can find a paintbrush around the house, yeah. That's a good idea. Like for the non-components, like the bottom of the case, or this thing here where you screw the fans in if there's no cooler in there, I could use a vacuum. It's a bit noisy, as some people said. It would be a bit noisy, but it would work. And then I can just quickly mute the microphone for a little bit. Do I take this fan out as well? I think if I lift it from here, yeah, I can just grab it out like this. You have to keep the back plate and stuff, maybe the screws at least. These ones, for the cooler. I might need those to reinstall it in the other motherboard, which does, as I said, come with a bit of problem in that we're changing the back plate and everything, the mounting for the CPU cooler. The socket, that's what I'm looking for. I'll keep this in here. couch. What I'm going to do is, I think, take out all of the wires through the back. So now you can see, I'll put it like this. There's a lot of wires here which we don't want to have to deal with, so I'm going to screw out the back plate. I will wake the spiders, yes. Vacuum is best before wiping. Okay, so maybe we should start with the vacuum. I'll vacuum it first to get all of the big stuff, like all of these big dust particles here and down below. And then for our final clean, I'll have to find like a paintbrush or something. But first, we take out the cables. Just pull them through the back so we have a little bit more space here later. Some are going to be connected. Don't really want that, I want it to be clean. I'm gonna do a better job of installing the cables in this one as well, because in the last one I did try, but it looked horrible. So I'm basically going to take out everything. We'll leave this because it's all tied together here. There's a zip tie in here, which we can take out. Why is this not coming? It's stuck there. Okay. So now all of the cables are around the back. There's a zip tie, which I might need to loosen. A few of them actually. What's the strange thing at the front end? The DVD player. Yes, yes. I installed it 8 years ago when operating systems really only came on discs, or for me at least, when I didn't know what to do. So I used it to install the operating system, and since then I've used it maybe a handful of times to get like CDs, and I say digitalize them, but actually use them to sample. Okay, I'll quickly turn on the vacuum, mute the mic, and then quickly vacuum out this area here below. So let me close this. Okay, so now that that's done, I just didn't want to pick it up on mic. You like vacuum noises? Well, I can turn it on later maybe again, and then we'll have it on mic. That's what gets you off, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna need to find a paintbrush apparently, which I didn't prepare. So the only thing I can really find is some paper towel, which isn't the best, but I can use it to clean the outside of the case at least. And this area as well. It's going to make a lot more dust fall down below, so maybe I have to vacuum it again down below later. But at least you can get this clean. Obviously a paintbrush might be nicer to get like inside the fans as well. Maybe I'll have to do that later. For now we'll just do like the surfaces here of the fans. Yeah, this isn't the best. You can see it's still sitting on here. Right, if I put the camera up a bit. Yeah, you can see if I'm cleaning this off, we don't get everything. So what I'll probably do is get a paintbrush somewhere. I rent this place, so I don't know where everything is. So anytime I need something, I'll just buy it usually, and then I'll get an actual paintbrush and do like a good cleaning. So now, yes, I really want to put dirty component or new components in that dirty old thing. Yes, saves me a lot of money. That's the only reason why. And obviously all of the discs and stuff are installed, so it's less work as well. So now we get to the scary part, which is installing everything into the case. Which I'm going to start with, actually not the case. I might actually need to get rid of some of these zip ties here, because it's, at least this one, it's a big mess. Let me get it. I'll quickly snap off this zip tie here, which you guys can barely see in the small camera, I think. There we are. And this one. Okay. Which means I also have to buy new zip ties. I can already see that this is going to be like a two-part thing. There's often some kind of bush inside the vacuum cleaner. Yeah. Not this one. I know what you mean, because the vacuum cleaner at home has, you know, the different mounts that you can put on the end of it, but this one doesn't. Or at least they're not with the vacuum. It might be here. No. Because the vacuum normally is right there. Okay, going to reinstall all of it anyway, so taking out all of the cables here in the back as well, so we have the maximum amount of room. There's another zip tie there. Oh man, what a mess. Okay, so these cables I can get out. These are fan cables. We'll move these around the front. Why is this tied to itself? Okay. This apparently has to go back in here, I think. There might be another fan in there, maybe. Why is there a cable going there? Ah, there's another fan. So maybe this one that's now installed in the back, I can install it on the front. Because there's a fan here, and then obviously they can be here because there's the hard drive bay. But that's in front of the hard drive bay, and maybe I can move this one to the front as well, because it doesn't look like quite straight the way it's mounted. Maybe that's an option. I should be able to unscrew this. This one's too small. If I have the right bit for it, then I can unscrew the front, which I don't have. Nice. Okay, because this, for some reason, is the Torx one, the different mount. And yeah, you do have to unscrew the screws before you can slide out the front of the case. So I'll get all of the final cables out, and then we can move the case to the side and install everything into the motherboard, or at least as much as possible. Okay. Now all of this is kind of stuck to the case. There's another thing here. Another zip tie. Where's the scissors? I know the camera angle is not that great, but this is really the only way I can nicely access it from this side of the table and still have you guys kind of maybe see through the case on what I'm doing. I'm just getting rid of all of the cables, so it's not really that interesting. Let's see, okay, this is all of the front stuff. Let's separate that. Keep this on top. Is there a way I can tie this up? Yes. Nice. Just tie it through the case here. Please tell me this fits. Okay, and then this is all tied together, which is nice, and then this is those two fans there. Okay. Move this off to the side for now. And now comes the scary bit, the thing that I'm actually nervous about. Let's get all of this dust out of the way. Let's focus in the camera. Get out the motherboard. Now, I'm not much of a PC builder in the sense that I don't have a lot of experience. But what I do know is that it's a good idea to install everything on the motherboard, or the CPU and the RAM onto the motherboard before we put it into the case. I'm going to take all of this out. Now I believe I can just put the motherboard right on the box here. And that should give us a nice working space. Let's get it out. I'll do a little product reveal unboxing thing for you guys. We'll get the tape off. Okay. And then we'll slide it out. Do I put it on top of the bag or do I remove the bag? I think you need to remove the bag from it. On the sleeve. Just reading back the chat, sorry. I'll put it, leave the motherboard on the sleeve. So I think like this. Yeah, I thought it was not a good idea because it's plastic, but that doesn't really make sense. Yes, okay. Let's sit down for this one. It's a little bit high, but I have my face nice and close. So that's nice. So, oh yeah, one thing I wanted to check is how my cooler goes on top of this. I think, because it says it goes on here, like the socket match, but it is a different socket than the old one, so I'm going to need to replace that. And that means that I need to find the one that goes on there. Obviously, I threw out the manual for this thing, which was a great decision. Doesn't seem to have mounting screws. It seems to have like things on the side, which you should be able to clamp to it. That says Intel. Here I have similar mounting things, like this would be this, right? What might be the case is that I unscrew this, put this back plate through here. It does look like that matches up. And then I put on this thing, normally. Yeah, that's screwed into the side. I think that might work. Let's see what the chat says about that. Put it on the floor to keep it grounded. Why is Dash here? Why is he giving me advice? Okay, so I think that's how it's done. Just with this thing, which is the same thing, and you just unplug these four things. I can check if there's the space in the back. I think, yeah, so there's a plate on it now, which is mounted, which means if I remove the screws, I should get a place where I can put these in, maybe, or like a similar back plate where I can screw in the little stands that it has. Okay. Let's just check. Yes, perfect. Perfect. So that's good that we did it. Some come with their own mounting brackets. Yes, this one does. So this one just kind of screws into the little standoffs instead of hooking onto these clamps here, right? So you just like actually screw it onto the motherboard. If it fits, it's right, yes. Okay, so that's prepared. I can put this back. You won't be needing that. This box and everything. I'll obviously keep the manual and stuff. That's a good idea. There should be a main manual where I could see like which slots the RAM goes into and stuff like that. It's not here. I'm making such a mess of things as well. Is it still in the box? Put on the CPU first. I want to start off actually with the SSD that screws into the motherboard and then the CPU. But it doesn't really matter. It's not in here. Did I take it out already? Normally they come with like a big manual. Maybe this is... Oh, this is all... Okay, so this is for CPU. Quick install guide. That's what I need, but for the RAM. It does say how to install the RAM, but not which slots. There's a YouTube video with it, which is not very helpful. Stickers, thank you for purchasing the project. Nice big MSI badge, even, not even a sticker. Join the MSI reward program. AMD motherboards, drivers and utilities. Okay. Okay, standoff notification, you need to make it stand off of the case. Okay, it's strange. No printed manuals anymore. Okay. So that means that I need to pull one up, I think. Which means I can pull it up on my laptop, that's better. Let's get this in here. Otherwise I won't see the chat. Usually slot 1 and 3, yes. But I want to double check everything. I know, right, like it's this one and this one usually, or that was when I did it in the old one. But it's always good to double check. So this is the box is here. B550 Pro manual. Manual. Okay, product page, support, manual and documents. Europe manual. What does that mean? Oh, it's the different languages. I don't want that. I want English. English, yeah. Quick start, okay. Safety information. It's going to take a bit of time to find the right things here. There's no... Ah, okay. Can scroll with that. Is there an index somewhere here? Not here. Ah, here it is. Okay. It's actually this slot and the other one. Now I don't see my camera angles. It's actually, can I pop these open? This one and this one. The front one doesn't pop open, but you can see it's the last two, not the first two as I thought. Or the 1 and the 3, it's the 2 and the 4. I think you list them from CPU backwards, right? So this, the one closest to the CPU is the 1. Don't quote me on this, I don't know nothing. Okay, but I do want to start with the SSD, because that's something I've never done. So I'm going to put put my camera down a bit. It's in the other shot as well, the camera. I'm not good at television. Never show the equipment in the shot. But that's okay. So we open this. Let's just cut into the side here where the seals are. And let's look at how this is done. If you have single or pair, then it's not random. Yes, so that's why I checked for the motherboard. Okay, so we have this thing, which goes into here. Which means that we unscrew this heatsink, and then it has a little bit of give now, which I think means that once we put it in there, it should also have a little bit of like leanway going down. Or maybe there should be a standoff in there. These screws are small. I need one of these micro ones almost. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's unscrew this and see what's up. This is the heatsink, maybe, I think. They must be labeled. Yeah, okay, so they are. It shows right here that first is this one and this one. You cannot see the text, but it does say there. It's a little bit hard because I'm filming. This camera is a webcam, as you can see from it being in the shot now. So I cannot really zoom in onto things or show things close up. I'm going to pop up the chat like this, because there's a lot of things that I missed maybe. Yeah, the I/O boards will worry about that later. Again, now that I found the manual, that should be okay. So I should be able to take this off, and then there's a little stand in. It plugs in here, and I guess I need a standoff on the other side, which might be already like this one. Maybe need a bit of help here. But this pops into here, and now it's pushed up like that. So I'm assuming maybe if we put this down again, then it screws in nicely. But I'm not sure because these screws are now definitely too short. But obviously this goes off, but it sticks onto the heatsink. Yeah, we're not worried about the RAM right now. So there is a little bit of a delay, I know. Might be able to screw this one in right here. Is that how that works? Because it went into this one before, didn't it? Or is that the other one? I might have messed up. Oh no, that's this one. This is the one that goes in here or in here, but it can't go in here because then the heatsink won't come on. Needs to be held down with a screw. Let's see if there's one in here. Samsung solid state drive booklet. No screws. I would assume that it would come with the motherboard as well. Duct tape. Yes. I do have it if we need it. It might be in one of these bags here. No, so these are cables. This is my like back shield thing. Okay. Screws underneath already attached to the motherboard. I think, let's pull this out. We can put, yeah, there's this, the standoff is already in there. And this is the screw they gave me for here. But there's a similar standoff here, which actually lines up with the little notch here, this one. Right, if I put it in, put it over, you can see how that lines up there. So I do think we need a screw to hold that down. I just need to know where that screw is. Maybe, okay, so there isn't, it isn't screwed in the back. Yeah, the standoff is here, but there isn't, there is no screw in there. And neither, or is this? Ah, there's a little screw. Let's hope this fits. Let's hope I can open this. Why is this so? Just rip it open with a knife in case. Yes, the other screw does fit in there, but as you can see, this is also like a little extra standoff, so the screw stop. I cannot really. Does this show? I feel like my camera is not focusing well on this. But you can see it's like two parts. There's the little thread and then it becomes wider. So this is for the heatsink, which goes on top. It goes through here and then like grabs onto it and then it comes out. Again, not really sure how to show that. So we know that there's screws that can go in there. And now I found one that should be able to go in there, but it's a very small little screw, so I need to be careful here. Just to check. Yep, that screws in. Which means that we should be able to use that to screw down our SSD. Which I'll just plop in there. And then push down with this. Push it down. Screw it in. Nice like that. And so now, heatsink goes over top. Just push that on. Okay, and now the standoff screw goes back into the standoff one, right here. That caught, right? Yes. Okay. That seems to be in. Nice. So then we go, doesn't really matter, right? CPU or RAM, we can install whatever one. Don't pull, yes, don't forget to pull off the foil. I did get the foil out of it. It was very satisfying. I feel like my stream is lagging very much today. Obviously I'm on Wi-Fi with the laptop. Does not have an Ethernet connection. But it's not like we have thick walls here in this house, in this apartment. So it isn't the greatest. I can sometimes see it dip down below where you would want it to be. Like the kilobits and everything. Okay. pop this open. Now you need to match the cutout like so. This should slide into here. I'm going to push down on it, and then I can, if it fits, clamp everything in nicely. Also on this side. Okay. No worries, Wolf, it's okay. It's nice to have somebody look out for all the errors that I can make. There's like a little spring in there. No, it should, yeah. It moves out of the way. So there's a little clamp on the front here, like a metallic clamp that keeps it. And then on the other side it just pushes in the little thing on the back. So that's the RAM installed. I went for this RAM because I didn't want any lights in it. Let's go smoke and celebrate. Yes! No, it's better not to do these things high, I imagine. It's just an empty box. It's just a box full of plastic. No, the CPU is inside. But obviously it's like... It is mainly box though. Like, this is the box. And then, I can't get it into frame. The CPU is just like tucked to the side here. This is what you're buying. And all of this space is filled up with an important warranty sticker. Reminding me that I need to update my BIOS. This is the nanotechnology that they keep talking about. It means that they put the CPU more and more to the side of the box. Okay. So we need to line it up. First let's open up its slot. There's a little bit of dust on there already. That's not good. So there should be an arrow here and here, which, if I line this up correctly, means that it goes in like this. And then we clamp it shut. Okay. So that's the hardest bit done, I think. Well, it should be. How do we move forward from here? We put it back into the case. There's nothing else that I can install right now into the motherboard before I put it into the case. Which means we just put it into the case, basically. And then GPU goes in here, and then we have to connect everything. I need to make sure that I see where things like the CPU fans are. Pump fan and CPU fan, okay. Worst is the pins from the box to the motherboard. The little standoffs in the case. I'm gonna put the case back. Cooling paste. The brackets for the cooler. So the cooler mounts directly into the motherboard through where's the little bracket for it? This thing, which is installed in the back. There's like 4 cutouts here for it, and if I like lift it up and align it, you should be able to see the screw should come through. No. Okay. It's the other one. Does that mean that on the CPU cooler itself, it's like adjustable? Okay, yeah. It seems to be adjustable there. The like where you can put in the screws, the final ones. Which means I need to get that other back plate, which I've lost. This is going great. I need to maybe organize a little bit in what is like trash and what isn't. I should have a different backplate. Oh, it's here. It dropped out. Ah. The box is like slightly dented. So, to show you, can't really show it like that. I need to move the camera up. Here's the 4 screws, and then these go, I guess I can put these in there already. These go in here, like this, and that's what my cooler mounts to. So these screw in nicely. I guess we can install that first, because I mean, there's not really a way that we need to unscrew this again, right? 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one is over there. It smells so nice and fresh, the new components. I like the smell of new PC stuff. Okay, it's still a little bit going back and forth. That's not ideal, but I cannot make them any tighter. So I guess when we clamp on the cooling, this will pull like the CPU in. Okay, so I'll put this back here for now, just so that I can plump down the case. Okay, let me move this in the back a little bit. I know it's dirty, I'm gonna get it cleaned. The cable should go to the side. It is resting on the cable, that's not a good idea. Let's pull these temporarily through here, so it doesn't lie flat on them. And now I need to see how the motherboard goes into this. So there's an extra screw here, which does not have a top, but the standoffs are all in the case. I don't know if you can see this very well. Maybe if I plump it down like this, you can see the little standoffs that I have here. I like the smell of new stuff in the morning. Yes, very much. Okay, so bring this back in, and then we have to screw that in. Now, I kind of made, oh wait, I need to switch out the back plate, obviously. Out with the old one, and then a new one goes in. Goes in like this. right? Maybe the fan is in the way. Should I guess I could take that out, that would be nicer. Also gives me an opportunity to clean this part up a little better. Because I know it's dusty. There's like very short screws for a fan. I should have not put all of the different screws right next to each other. It's a little bit of a guesswork which screws do what thing. But I guess I get a little extra puzzle with that then. Which is extra entertainment and extra content for you. Okay. Put this down there. I shouldn't have done that with the motherboard right next to it. Very dusty. It's a lot better already. Are those standoffs aligned with the new motherboard? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. These are the standard case standoffs. There are 2 extra ones in there. One looks pretty unusable because it's just like a pin. I'm a little bit scared of that actually, now that you mention it. There's like a, okay, there's like in the middle here, there, a pin. So I'm assuming that there should be a hole in the motherboard, because otherwise that won't go through. Which there is. It's like a little lineup hole, I guess. Now, if everything works out, I've installed the I/O shield upside down. That's why I didn't line up. So, we flip that. It doesn't really go in nicely. Yeah, here at the bottom it doesn't. There we are. And now the top is out again. It's a little bit of a hassle, but now everything should be lined up. Okay. Which means if I line this up like this, from looking at it, yes, everything lines up. That little pin goes through the hole, which is nice. You can see it right there, or not right there, right behind the SSD. Okay. Which means that we can just put in the individual screws. It does seem like it needs to move a little bit forward still. There's some things clamping. That one. Yeah, now it's lined up. Perfect. Okay. So I'm just gonna screw one in slightly so it doesn't move. If I can line that up. This might not be the right screw. As I said, I'm put all of the screws in the same spot, which is not a good idea. This one isn't going in either. Right, or is it slightly off? Maybe I should go with this one first. There's a little bit more space here. There you go. Okay, so not too much pressure. Admit it, you just like the extra challenge. Yes. Well, to be honest, it's just because I'm disorganized with this kind of stuff, which is a bad idea. Okay. Get the one below. Okay. Then there's one. Some of these are really hard to get too, because it feels like you cannot just drop them in and then go in with the screwdriver. My voice is messing up a little bit. I sound completely different there. Like here, maybe I can just... because it keeps falling over these screws. They're a little bit like top heavy. Okay, that's that. Next one is here. Oh. And then there should be one or two more at the top, yes. It does not have a magic tip. I know what you mean. They're like magnetized things, or the screwdrivers that keep the screws to the tip. I don't have that. This is just... Ooh. Nothing broke there. It just fell behind the motherboard from my side, which, if you're looking at from the case side, is above. This one is not catching. Or is this a diff? No. Why is that not? What if I just put it in here first, which is the hardest one? Okay. Yeah, okay, so this one goes in, which means that it should be all lined up for this last one. I think I caught something there. And this one just isn't going in. What is this madness? It might actually be a different screw here. No, it's the same. Right? Yeah. It just doesn't catch. It should go right down here. Do I have... Your heart just dropped. So did mine. This screw just does not want to catch. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's held up on both sides, but it's right above. Ah, there it is. Why did that? Where is it? Okay, I think that's screwed in. There we are. Just screw in the last ones, make them a little bit tighter. Obviously you don't want to tighten one screw completely and then screw the other ones in. You want to do it first, screw them in a little bit so they have a little bit of like leanway, and then tighten them later. This screw is still not perfectly in there, but it is stuck there. So it did catch. You're also building a PC. You should also stream it. It's going to be a new part of this community. PC building. Okay. So now I think it's best that we wait with the GPU till a little bit later, and that we first install as much of the cabling as well as the GPU or the CPU cooler. Which means for the CPU cooler I need to clean it first. So I'm going to get a new bit of paper cloth, and I'm just going to fill it up with some water. Just making it slightly wet. Okay, how can I show this the best? I just want to take off thermal paste, I guess. It's because there's a light here. If I move this up temporarily, the goal is just to clean it completely and then to apply new thermal paste directly onto the CPU. Need some more cloth. It's not 100% clean, but I don't know if I can get this last bit off. It does feel completely clean, but maybe these are some marks that are just on. Oh no, wait. Maybe with a bit more. I do think those final things that I'm seeing are marks on the actual copper, because they're only on the outside. The inside is pretty clean. There's some dust on my CPU as well already. Clear this off. So, just clean. Try alcohol. Yeah, that would work. I just don't have any pure alcohol here. Obviously I can put on like Montenegro, but that's not gonna work. For one, it's only 20%, which means that 80% is not alcohol. So now, CPU cooler, I think. Because now that we have a lot of space, I think it's the best that we put this in immediately, which means it's these screws, if I remember correctly. That seems to screw in, yes. Just verifying that I'm getting the right ones. This is going to go like this, I think. Or no, that won't work. That's gonna look, because it's already bent like this, so I think I only have one option. Okay. This is one of the parts that I'm most scared about. That's why I'm taking a little bit. Because there is very little space. I need to make sure that I get all of the cables. Actually, I'm going to temporarily take this cable bundling thing off here. I'll put the camera back into the case as well, because obviously you cannot see it. Why is this not coming off? Need the thermal paste off my finger. Okay. Now this is all disconnected and long. There's a tie wrap on here, but that's okay. Let's put the my tripod is collapsing in on itself. I hope this is a good angle to see the action. Otherwise I'll have to move it. Just let me know. Just make sure the pump is not the highest point into the chain when installing it. I think the pump is in the block, the way I'm looking at it. So the way I'm thinking of doing this is just moving this in, leaving this, the pump and the block on the drive bay, which means that it bends a little bit strangely. Maybe I leave it down here. Can get it. I just don't want to put the block on top of the motherboard. Okay, so that means now it's in place. I can let go of this and just slowly rotate this. And then I can just screw it in from the top. I think this goes there. Seems like those are the holes that have been used before. And since we're installing it back into the same place, that's where I'll be screwing it in as well. I know the camera angle is not the best again. You just have to believe in me. It's a little bit hard managing all of this while, you know, actively working on your PC. Okay, so this goes in the other end here. And then it's just one more here and in the other angle. I thought it was a fan CPU cooler. No, it's a water block. Hence the tubing and all of the strange mounting that we have to do here. Which, by the way, it's good that I installed the backplate and the screws. I'll shift this back so I can show you. That I installed these 4 things already. Because now I don't have to go into the back. Which means I should be able to line this up. Just checking. Perfect. Okay. I need a camera assistant. Yeah, and somebody who knows what he is doing would also be nice. Okay, how does this open? Do I take off that plastic bit? I'm assuming this is like a little tab, but there's like a plastic wrapper around it. Do I just cut open the... Here. There is a black tab on it, and then there's like plastic lining. I think I just need to cut open the plastic lining and then screw off the black tab. So I'm gonna try that now. Obviously I don't want to damage the tube, so I'm trying to be as careful as I can with this. That did do something. It's now open on the sides. In a good way, not in a bad way. This might look very, very sketchy, but I think this is how we open it up. Get this. Also, I think this is some kind of like protection seal to show that it, you know, still usable and hasn't been tampered with. I should be able to. Okay, so it's still a little bit stuck there. Okay. Yes, perfect. But now does it close again nicely? Yeah. Okay. So. The pump is actually the thing attached to the CPU. Yes, that's what I meant. Put the camera back. The little block thing. This bit. You can see it's like tall, so I assume that here there's the pump, and then this is the radiator with the fan and everything. So let's get the cables out of the way. I'm actually very nervous for this, applying thermal paste. As goofy as it may sound, it's one of the more nerve-wracking things, because it's on the I guess not the most pricey thing. The most pricey thing is the GPU with a little bit more, but I should be able to just put the P side in the middle. You guys should have a nice angle of this. If I move this down a bit, just a little drop in the middle, and then I need to make sure that I put it the cooler over it nice and flush. right? I hope so. Okay, something like this, I suppose. I have you guys double check on it. You may know a little bit more about PC building. Maybe that's not enough. Maybe it's, here's a finger for scale, like a nail for scale. It's slightly smaller than my nail, I would say. You'll do it for free, yeah. Usually doing a 5 on a dice with thermal degrees. Okay, so I messed that up already. Well, there's a lot. I know there's different patterns and ways that people like to apply it. What I care about is if it's enough, because you cannot really check. What I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, once it's on, like the cooler, I should not remove it again, because then it loses all of its contact. I'd put a tad more on it. Okay, then we'll do that. I guess I'll just put everything in the middle, because that's kind of what I've done now. A little bit more. Okay. There we are. It doesn't look like more, but it's higher now. Steady fingers. Just need to push that down. Inside. Okay. And now we screw it on like this. Just a little bit on each side, and then I'll go around tightening them later. The key is that it should be replaced once a year, once it dries. I've replaced my thermal paste, or I have it done. Obviously I don't do that myself, I just go into the shop, get some guy to do it for like 20 euros. Okay, so now again with these annoying screws, they screw in much easier. Whereas now the bottom is also screwing. That's not good. Why is it doing that? Do I need to? I might have messed something up here. I'm going to lift it, but keep it pushed down. So I can look into the back side. Because I might need to. It's moving the back screw as well. You see how like the whole plate is moving? And I cannot hold it on. And this way it feels like it's maybe leaning a little bit too much. This is a mess. What have I done here? Just keep screwing it in, but it's not getting any tighter. and it's like completely coming off of the CPU. This is not good. Why is that not? I need to like hold the lower one, I guess, and then screw in the top one, which is going to be fairly hard to do. How can I? The problem is that this is happening with all of the screws. Like if I turn the top one, right, so there's the screw up here, which I assume was to tighten it. Fairly normal assumption, I think. And then there's the one that is the standoff that goes into the back plate. Now this is not good because my CPU is like, or my cooler is like actually moving still. And it just keeps screwing both of them. The other one is not going down. I'm gonna try to unscrew one of them so I can see. Okay, so unscrewing goes fine. Yeah, that should be able to go through and further. Why is it not doing that? Like once I screw it in a decent amount, it like catches on it, and then it just doesn't go in more. It just doesn't tighten more, and it just rotates the thing at the back, which does not actually move down. Yeah, I think that's a good idea that we check out the screws like on their own, see how they work. Which basically means unscrewing everything. Maybe what I've done is I've put in the little stand-ups upside down. Oh, it's not unscrewing. It's not actually letting me unscrew the top. It's catching so much that... Here we go. Okay. Yeah, we'll clean everything up and just try again. My battery from my phone is already dead. Not going to. Here again. Why are you doing that? I guess it's not that big of a problem because we're going to take them off either way. Okay, slowly lift it off, which means we can also inspect my thermal paste job, which, I mean, it isn't square, but it was on there, mostly. Maybe I do want a more spread out pattern. Now, how do I do it with CPU is my question. Obviously we wipe it clean, but do I do that in the case or do I take out the CPU as well? Let's put this back. Ah, I was right. It does screw in differently. So I put these standoffs in upside down. Right, there is, I don't know if the camera is going to catch this, but there's like a bigger side and a smaller side here. And this thing goes into the smaller side. And I had them go into the big side. So that's why I just carefully take as much off as I can. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so we lift this up, install the back plate again with the standoffs the right way up, and then we do this whole thing over again. I do hope you guys are enjoying me struggling as well, because I'm not doing this for the camera or anything. I genuinely have no idea what I'm doing. It is going well. I feel like I shouldn't be so hard on myself, because it is actually going pretty well. Can I line this up? You cannot see the holes where they go in through there. If I do it like this, yeah. Okay. Let's just take one of them and keep that into place. That would also explain why they turned the same way, because the little one was in there, and so it wasn't catching on the thread. Did I do it right this time? No, this one is also wrong still. I think. Yeah, we want the big ones in the back. And we just screw it in tightly so it doesn't move. It's still moving though. You see, that's what's concerning to me, is that it keeps moving even though I'm tying this in. Like I'm tightening it all the way, and then it still has about 4-5 millimeters of like going back and forth, which is just the standoff itself, like the thing you screw it into, because that is like a little bit of a standoff. So you cannot actually screw it all the way onto the board, which might mean that my theory of it screwing in such a way that it pulls the board forward into the CPU cooler might be correct. Where did I leave the last one? Is it on the cooler? Yes. Yeah. So this goes down in there. And now if I lift it down, it should start to hang on those screws, which then shouldn't be a problem. Oh. It's lying on the cables. That's not a big issue. Stuff like this happens. Yeah, I know, it's just not having built a PC in 8 years, it just makes me nervous. So the recommendation was 5 little bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 in the middle as well. 5. Right? And I gotta check something like this. Do I have a coffee or tea while doing it? No. No, I should. I should have something to drink actually. Maybe not a coffee. A cup of tea would be nice. At least when I'm going to install the programs, I'll get myself a nice cup of tea. Also, I don't want to have too many liquids around, to be honest. So this now goes back in here. Nice and easy. Yeah. Which now we have a little bit of a problem because the back plate, oh, it's moving. Because the back plate falls back, I cannot actually, I guess I can catch this side maybe? Yes. Okay, so then I can pull the other ones a little bit closer. Hopefully. That one won't catch yet. This one will. So that means this might be a little bit too tight now. And then we should be able to lift it up and have our CPU cooler at least stay in place so I can push this forward. Yes. It's a little bit hard lining everything up now because I need to both push in the back and screw it in the front. That's a weird sentence to hear. Okay. I'm just slowly screwing them in one at a time. And now we can tighten them. Just going to go little bits at a time on each of them until they start to put up some resistance. This one already does. And then I'll slowly get each one closer and closer. I'm assuming that you don't want to put too much pressure on it, but that you do want it to be fairly tight because it needs to be, you know, clamming onto the CPU. One more here, so I can be a bit tighter. I think that's it. I think I have installed the CPU cooler. Now though, there's a little bit of a problem. The cables for the pump go right where the fan is. So we need to remove the fan, install the cables, and then put the fan back. Am I missing some rubber fans? No, I think everything, or the rubber things, I think everything is okay. There was no padding or something, otherwise I would have seen it on the table when I took them out. Okay, let's unscrew. These are tight. These are those long ones that go right through the fan and then into the, basically the other side than where I mounted it. That's how you can switch sides, I guess. If you mount them. No, that won't work. This one goes below here. It's going to be annoying screwing these back in later. At least I can move the fan out of the way a little bit, like that. Let's have that rest right there for now. Ooh, there's a lot of dust in there. I should probably get the vacuum and, while I have this thing open, quickly vacuum out the reservoir or the radiator. Okay. Now, is this fan stuck to anything? No. I can take this out. And since you guys like vacuum sounds, I shall be keeping the mic open so you can hear them. I mean, it's slightly cleaner. We want to see the first time turning on the computer. That's going to be a bit of a hassle because then I would need to take one of my monitors out of my room. I guess I could set that up. That's It will take me some time, so the stream will be a little bit boring during that time. You guys will have to entertain yourselves. Now, what goes where is the question. Like, how does this plug in to that? It does seem that there are grooves in here. There was an actual spider walking under my case. I don't know if that showed up on camera, the spider, but it's now climbing the tripod. I'm going to have you crawl on this. I don't know where it went. I hope it finds a new house. That vacuum needs some low pass, yes. Evacuate. Well, when I said there were spiders in my case before, I wasn't joking. So, I mean, I would need to find the manual for the pump, which is this. See, if I had just read this part, we wouldn't be having to redo stuff. Oh, I hate this. BRG plus 12 volts. I will need to find. Is it on there? Nope. Does the cable say anything? Nope. Or is that the fan one? Okay, so that goes onto a pin. The fan has two. Are those two identical then? Like, oh no, CPU fan, pump, fan. Okay, and this goes into the pump fan. Like that. Sorry, we're coming in with the right comment at the right time. Okay, now this goes into the pump, which means that this other cable coming from the pump goes into the fan. It is a big construction, this. Goes in like this, yes, right? It's a little bit annoying because you cannot really see what you're doing. Like I can't see what the right way is. I think like this, how I had it before. But it needs to, there we are. Now it's clicked in. Which means that this goes into here. No? Or this fan. Well, where does that other one go then? The other one goes on another fan cable. So I should have another cable for that. Interesting. Yeah. It seems like it takes up 3 slots. So there's the pump one, there is the fan one, and then the fan needs another one. So the fan basically takes up 2 fans. Yeah, and I have sysfan 1, sysfan 2 there. I should have some other fans. Sysfan 4, so I assume there will be there's a 5. Shouldn't there then be a 3 as well? 3, yes. So I have 5 places to put in a fan. And one is actually right here next to the SSD, which is nice for the back one. I mean, ideally you would have it over here, but okay. Because then you can like nicely work it away. Yes, there's a dedicated pump connector, and that's where I put it, the pump. But that means that I need, is it in here? In this mess of cables. I need another cable. That connects this thing to the fan. Because this doesn't plug into the fan directly, does it? Let's see what happens if I try that. Not to put too much pressure on it, but could I get that in there this way? I don't think... Oh yeah, that works. Now, it is a bit of a cable mess here. It's hard to show. Maybe I can move this lamp to... Ah! Look at that. Light. There's a bit of a shadow coming in, so... It's annoying on the other camera. What if I do this? Now it's just this camera and we don't have to stare into the other light, which gets annoying. So now we put the fan back on, which is somewhere. Is it this one? No, this is the case fan. It's a different fan, of course, that you want to... Oh, it's back here. Yeah. Okay. So if I want to put all of the cables neatly in the top there, push them in there. I hope this all fits. That's my biggest concern. Like, just. It's literally touching the connectors. I hope I can get this side low enough. It is actually touching the connectors here. Hey, the spider's back. It's crawling into my laptop. Nope. It's our little spider friend crawling back onto the case. Get into this thing. I'll put you outside. It's scared of the tissue paper. I don't want to squash it in there. I just want you to walk onto the tissue. Or walk onto something that I can lift, not my laptop. No, don't do that. Why would you do that? I'm just going to push him off the table, to be honest, because it's getting annoying. You'll find another house. Okay. The cable, these are the cables coming out of it. I want else to be pushed below that. This as well goes down there. And then this should all neatly package back here once I install it. I'm scared that this thing isn't behind the fan. It is. Okay. So I have to redo this. There's like 5 different cables to this CPU cooler alone. And it's stressing me out. Yeah, so this should, I should push this behind the radiator. Now we have, oh, look at that. That's the answer. Okay, those two are in. Focus. Looks nice. Now, I'll clean up the cabling later. I'll push it all behind the radiator because there's a little air gap there. like this case is for 140, or actually 280 millimeter radiators, but this is only a 120. So there's space behind it that I can put things like it's fan cables. Also, the cable that has to go to CPU power can go there. That's going to be annoying. Might need to remove the cooling again. I don't want to do that. Just to get that cable through. I hope I can just push it through the behind there, the space that I wasn't talking about. Okay. Nice. Let's quickly check for that cable, because that's a little bit of a thing maybe. Okay, so I should be able to move the camera. I can move you guys down as well, so you can see better. Little bit of a hassle with all of these different camera angles, but I'm basically going to come through here with that motherboard cable, then go up behind the radiator, and then out here into this plug. I mean, I might as well install that now, because that's like on the top, and they're actually still tied together, which I don't want. I'll probably get tie rips as well somewhere. I don't actually have them, so I need to go out and buy new ones to do the actual cable management. But that's not 100% necessary for what we're doing today. This is looping around. Why is that? 3 hours later, projector arguing with the spider. Yes, yes. Spider is providing better content than I am, I know. It seems to be working. I need to push those fan cables back in. But it is coming, you can see it move. It's coming through. Plug. And then this plugs in right over here. Neat. And that goes nicely on top. I can hide these other cables back in. Push them out of the way as much as possible, if they will let me. Ooh. That looks pretty nice. This needs to go. Up and inside a little bit more. Okay, I want this to move slightly to the side. Yeah, this will come through here like this, basically. Right, and then I will put it on the back here so that it neatly folds away. Once I do all of the actual cable management. What company is that case from and what cooler do you have? The cooler is a Gamma XXL 120 V2, which Doesn't say anything to me, but it was the cooler, the water cooler that they had when I went to get a water cooler in the old PC. Which, for the record, this cooler was in the old PC as well, so I already had it, and it just fits on the new one, which is nice. The case is a Corsair, right? Yeah, Corsair. It's a little bit more of an old, obscure one. I recently, obviously, looking for PC parts and everything, I had to look up the case itself as well. And finding like the number on it, I couldn't find like the actual serial number on it anywhere. Probably inside, maybe. It doesn't say here on the back. I would assume that there would be some kind of name as well that would tell me the actual name of the case, like a little plaque or something. Maybe on the back, but doesn't matter. It's a Corsair case. Maybe on the window, actually. Window panel. On the other one? No. I don't know. I don't know the exact type, but it's a Corsair. Maybe if you look for Corsair mid-tower and then focus on the window, because this window has a pretty distinct look. How can I show this best? Here. So this is the like window. If you find something with the leathery things in the holes and this like double grid thing, if you find a case that has a window like this, then you know it's the same one. This is where the cable management begins. This is where the nightmares begin. I'm gonna put it back on its back. There's a screwdriver there. I don't want to put it on there. And now, I guess it's GPU time. What else do I need? Do I need anything else? I don't think so. GPU. I'll make a bit of space so I can put the box down before I get it out. My camera like so. I'll put you guys back up a little bit as well so you can see nicely into the case while I install it. I wanted to do this with a better camera, the one that I usually use to record my videos, but this Camlink just doesn't want to work with anything. It didn't work with my old PC, so I have the webcam for streaming on this PC, right? The old components. I hope it will work on the PC now that I'm going to reinstall everything and with new components. But it also doesn't work on the laptop. And it is recognizing them, it is saying that everything is fine, it's just not getting a video signal. What's this? Am I a member of the VIP club? Graphics card, quick user guide. I'm gonna take all of these guides and put them away because, I mean, for installation you don't really need them, but it's nice to have for getting the drivers. I'll show you the unboxing, which is what everything is all about. You guys don't care about the building, you want to see stuff getting out of plastic, which I will do. There is the tape on the back. Screw it down like this and get the tape off. Okay. The most satisfying angle. It's shiny and everything with the lamp on it like this. It's upside down. GPU. Nice. Nice. I think this still should line up. Need to pop you back. And then why not going in there? Oh, it's so hard to line everything up. I think that's why. There's protection on it. Always use protection. Now it's going in. I might need to unscrew this one here, just a little bit up so it can slide in there. Not like fully out, like this. And now, yes. Now I just need to screw that in. There should be. Oh, we're going back to the challenge of finding the right screw. I think it's this. I think this goes. You guys cannot really see that. It needs to move forward a bit, I feel. Or I just need to push the case back while I do it. That might be it. Let's try just getting it in first, getting it to catch. If it's the right screw. Might be in the old GPU still. Is it? Nope. Oh yeah, it catches, it catches. There it is, there we are. Nice, nice, nice. Everything is air-cooled. Yeah, I had it air-cooled as well. I started out with this PC just water-cooled with an H100i, like the big one, the Corsair one. And then the pump in it broke, and it's, while they were trying to fix the pump, it depressurized. So I got it into the shop because the pump broke. While that happened, it depressurized, and therefore I need to get my charger. And therefore they had to basically throw the unit away. And they said, okay, you can either buy a new one or you can put the stock cooler back on for a while. And I went with the stock cooler, but the stock cooler obviously makes a lot of noise. So I decided again to get me a water cooler, which is this unit that we have here now. I'm quickly going to get my phone battery because otherwise I can't read chat. a second, guys. I need to find the USB cable, which is here. Otherwise I can't see what you're saying, which is not what we want. Plug this in here. I didn't think my phone would drain so fast as it does. But I guess I'm continuously watching the... Let's see if the spider climbs back in the case while I'm gone. Yeah. Did it? Okay. So now it's just cables. Now it's just cables everywhere. If the USB 3.0, there should be an I/O thing there somewhere. Right? Isn't that normally around this area? Those things are USB. There's an RGB connector, which I don't want. I'm sorry, I'm having a look at where all of the cables go. Wait, by the way, does it mean... I probably need the manual. I'm going to quickly pop up the manual here again so I can see where the I/O connecting the front header. Power LED, power switch, HDD LED, reset switch. Okay. But where on the board is it? JFP1 is what I'm looking to find. JFP2, JFP1. Okay. So that's all of this mess. Or is this all connected to it? Oh, this is the audio. Oh no. That has its own place, doesn't it? The audio. I guess we can worry about that later. Let's just pull it up. I'm going to slightly pull in my laptop to this side. And we'll do it like this. Get a nice angle here. I'm going to take my chair back. It's now exactly in front of the microphone, so I'm going to move my microphone a little bit back. Move the PC back. I cannot see my camera angle right now, but I want everything to be a little bit closer together. I guess I can put it back like this, and I can like this, and you guys can see from two sides. This back a little bit, maybe. Perfect. Back onto the manual. Make it a bit bigger. Why is the plus not working here? Zoom. Okay. So, I need all of the individual little things, which in my old case just came with like this nice block, right? But the new one, or the new motherboard, I don't think I have that. Thank you for watching, Para. Nice to see you. We're here all morning. Do I have one of those little lineup block things? I have cables. It's not in there. I should have another bag from the motherboard. One that I tore open. Other one is nowhere to be found. One annoying thing about building your own PC is that it brings with it such a mess. So many different pieces of card and whatever. I don't think I have one of those connectors. You know what I mean? The ones that... this one. I don't know if I can turn it around or just put it through here. You see how you have the different connectors for the case and then it's all connected to this and you just plug this into the motherboard? I have to do them individually. Which means take them out of this slowly. Don't want to break anything. And we just plug them one by one directly onto the motherboard. So, HDD, LED and reset switch go in down below. I have to see the plus and minus as well. I guess it's just the label goes outside. I think that's the standard. Saving every cent on production, yeah. It's a little bit annoying. I like it when you can line it up and just plop it in. That's much better. Okay, so the power LEDs, they give me individual ones. So the plus goes on the outside. And then the minus goes right next to that. I'm going to obviously tuck this in later. Make all the cables look nice. Please go in there. Wire unit. There we are. Okay. Then we have power switch. I should do the other one first. Reset switch going like that. We have power switch on the top going in like this. And that's all of the front I/O stuff done. I guess, what is this? This is a case fan. Let's keep this mess separated for now. Should have gone through the other hole. I should probably go through the lower one. Which means I pick that all up and just keep on holding it tight. It should hopefully stay. No, I'm gonna do that again. Power switch and reset switch. So we do these ones first. I'm just going to a lower hole so that I can clean it up nicer, is the idea. Ryzen 7, it's the Ryzen 7 5800. This one, 5800X. And the X means obviously Extreme Edition or some bullshit like that. Please just go in the fucking thing there. One more. Okay, that's the first half done again. This is now all coming through, okay. Which means we do reset switch next. Lining everything up with these things, it's so close together all. Okay. Probably going to mount this like here, slightly out of the way so it doesn't, you know, sit in the middle like that. Let's go to the next bit. Installing the motherboard, no. It's the LED power LEDs, sure. Why does it tell you how to install the front AI before it tells you how to install the motherboard? I mean, wouldn't you install the motherboard first? Here, drives. I guess we can do the drives next. Or do we do the fans? These fans are a bit of a mess because this is this a CPU fan? It might be. It's different from this one. This one should be easy installing it because I can wrap the cable around itself and then this just neatly should go like this right here. That works. We have to make sure that it goes in the right way. Should have gone for another hole here. Yeah, it's not the most beefed out PC in the world, but it's a lot better than the pre-Ryzen AMD CPU that I had before. And that's all that matters to me. I guess this fan can go through here into this connector here. That's the closest one and also the cleanest one. So that goes in there. And then obviously I'm going to move this out of the way as well in some way. This is the USB 3.0 thing, which I have bent it the wrong way, I guess. I need to bend it like this for it to go in nicely. Please. There we are. It is sticking out annoyingly. There's motherboards that have this at a 90-degree angle. I don't know which camera to look at. They have this at the angle so that you can like plug it in from below and then it doesn't stick out like this. I don't like how this looks. I wish that was different. Okay. Then there's this one. I'm also going to route through the back and then this is going to go to... I don't think I need to put this onto a CPU fan thing because it's just a case fan. So I assume if I only plug in the case fan part, it will just ventilate. If not, we'll have to unscrew everything we did here. This is not, no, it cannot be where that other connector goes that we had before. It will be fast in terms of this. Yeah, the 90 degree. I have them for SATA, which is pretty common nowadays. Because normally the 90 degree part of the cable goes onto, I should go through here. The 90 degree part of the cable goes through the, what's it called? Into the disc, right? Okay, so I can move this back in here. So I'm missing power supply. I'm just looking at what I still need to do. Power supply, connect all the hard drives, including this thing. I might not connect this. I mean, yeah, it's useful for the discs I have from computer music. Oh yeah, audio. Front panel audio, I need that. Installing a graphics card, we have done that. I need to install the power supply to the graphic card. Connecting peripherals, power on, yes. Overview of the slots. Jout D1 is what I'm looking for. It's all the way back there. Why? I guess we can go through here, but why is it? No, that's not wrong. That won't. It. So apparently the protection tape on this connector is slightly off, and that's the only way, or the only reason that I can actually insert this into it. It's. Or is it stuck somewhere here? No. Yeah, I guess it's stuck on the top here, but that's where you want the cables to go past. So either way, it's a stupid design. I'll probably make this all go like here. Okay. So discs and power supply stuff, and then we should have a finished PC. It's starting to look good as well. I like how this PC looks. Okay. What is this mess? Oh yeah, this is the one I used for the drive. You can still see them being in shape. Because obviously they keep the shape, right? I need to see the one for PSI. Here she is. Now this is the extra that goes in there. There's another one if we wanted to. If we somehow would be able to install another GPU in this, then you would be able to use that. But I believe I can just pop this in from behind here. How do I make this look good? Or does it go? I guess it goes like this. Yeah, that clamps on there. And then this goes into 6+2 PCIe. There. That's GPU done. I guess we could do the drives next. I'm gonna move this slightly like this. Let me see if that still lines up with the camera. I know it's a bit of a mess, this stream, but I hope you guys are enjoying it either way. I'm going to switch back to just this camera, so we have, we're looking here. SATA goes in here. Right? Huh? This should go in there. Or is it the other way around? It's just in the shadow of the tube with the light. Ah. For some reason, this goes up. I guess you can then go through here, through the back, and then down again. But that's a little bit of a strange detour. Okay, so that's it. Oh, does it matter which SATA connections I use? I don't think it does, right? How many gigs of RAM did I get? 32. Upgradable to 64 if I want to, for another 100 euros. I'm gonna need 3 more SATA connections. Oh, these are both flat-sided. No, it doesn't matter. Perfect. Perfect. I can just plug them in anywhere then. I'll have these white cables above because I like the look of them a little bit more. At this point, it's just aesthetics. But I'll have the one darker cable below. The only thing I'm not a fan of right now is the way that this cable looks. There's GPUs out there nowadays that put this connector like right here on the back, which I like a lot more. There's SATA channels, they don't do fancy stuff like RAM does. Nice. Also this cable, there's the like extra thing on it, right? You could put in a second GPU, which I don't like the look of. I mean, this cable has to be here, so there's not much that I can do about it. I could get a new cable, but it's not really worth it. Okay, so the SATA cables are in. I just want to plug in the 2 disk cables, which are, I'll go through it. Go through here. And then this one as well. This is the one that goes to the lower discs. This that goes upside down, yeah. Okay. Here. Need to move this around. Careful not to let anything fall down. And now it's basically putting in the cables in the back see this? There's not really a camera angle that I can use to actually show me plugging this in. Okay, let's not have the angled one below. Then it's the power cables. Oh, this is so cramped all in this part. Ooh. Technically I could install another hard disk, and I almost bought like an actual another like physical hard disk to put in here. The only problem is that the power connector only comes with 3 connections on each cable, which means that either I would need to run one cable there separately for one disk and then not have the disk drive this thing, or I would need to mount the hard disk up here somehow, which I know you can do. This guy needs to, I need to move it more to be able to get that. Now, is this also going to be upside down and going up? Or did I actually, no. These connectors are just going up instead of down, like the SATA one, right? Or is this the right way up? I just cannot see with this. Yeah, so this does come from down below. That's so strange. Oh, it's stuck on the cable. Okay. Am I missing anything? That's my question. This fan was installed completely, right? I think we just did it as a case fan. The other fan is also installed. There's 1, 2. Oh, I need to install this one. Here. This bad boy. Let's screw that in. This went in from the back with these screws, like this. You could buy a splitter. What I ended up doing, which was a much better idea, is I bought the 4 terabyte hard disk that I wanted as an external hard disk. So I can just throw all my stuff on there, and if I ever am on the move or anything, I can open up projects on my laptop or something like that. Like if I need to do an edit or work on, or if I want to work on some music, I have all of my video stuff in there, I have all of my music stuff on there, and it's 4 terabytes, so there's enough space for literally everything. Which also means that I can copy over the 2 big 1 terabyte hard disks that I have in here and free them up for other things. Which, I mean, you can never have enough hard disk space, right? One of the cool things I could do is I can format the SSD that's in here now, which used to be my system drive before we installed the thing directly onto the motherboard. And then I can use that to render uncompressed videos to, because it's 128 gigabytes, which is like enough for 7 minutes of uncompressed video from memory. Don't quote me on this, but 7 minute-ish. So the majority of animations that I'm rendering for the music videos for the album, for example, can go to that. And that means that, I mean, I could also do it to the 1 terabyte one for which we just installed into the motherboard. Yeah, just having a backup as well of these hard disks. I just copy over the whole disk before I took my PC apart, so that's also nice to indeed have the backup of everything, make sure everything is safe. Obviously, with the most important files, like the project files for the album stuff and all of the other songs that I'm like actively working on, I usually throw them up on my Google Drive as well, just to be sure. Okay, so how do you go in? Like this. At the top and there. That's pretty clean, like you can see the cable sitting here. What I like about motherboards like this, it being black, is that all of the cables kind of, you know, fall into it. Like this cable here, if I don't point it out, you're not going to notice it on a motherboard. And that's why I think this is a pretty clean build, is because it's like completely black, which I like, and completely no RBG, except this one lights up in white. I wouldn't do rendering on the system drive, just keep your system and programs on there. I mean, it's 1 terabyte. I'm not going to use 1 terabyte of the programs. And for anything above 7 minutes, I'm going to need more than what this SSD can handle, which is 128 gigabytes. Right? It's just going to make a bigger file than that in the way that I export. I'm just thinking, what else do I need to do? Apart from like managing the cables. Did I forget to plug in anything? I don't think I did. But obviously if I did think I did, I would have addressed that by now. Just kind of looking around, seeing if there's anything that I'm missing. Collect some of this mess here. I want to identify all of the screws that are not yet in the PC and see what they're for. That's always a good idea. You know, making sure that you're not missing any screws. And then I'll just slightly fix the cables, pop the back, put the back in. And then we should have an upgraded PC. It's going to be annoying putting all of these cables in here. There's no way that this is... What a mess. You know what I'll do? Little life hack. I'll push it as much forward as I can, throw the back on, and then push it all the way back. Drives are all connected, power and data, yes. Front USB, yes. Audio, yes. Audio card, I don't have an audio card. What GPU do I have? I have where is the box? The box is right here. Or at least the inside of the box. Here it is. AMD Radeon RX 660. Should be in frame, yes. That's the one I have. The reasoning, you're a bit concerned for the power supply. According to PC Part Picker, which I know isn't the best website, my system should be using around 400 watts as configured. Apart from these two drives, which I did not include in the calculation. I know for a fact that my CPU is going to use 10 watts less. But now that you say so, I don't know what the wattage was for the old or the new GPU. Do you think that that's... I mean, the old one did not have any problems concerning power. At least not any problems that I encountered, and I've pushed that old PC hard. Like having it render videos for 3 days in a row or stuff like that. So okay, just read. It needs 120 watts on full load. Okay. Can you find out what the old one needs? A GTX 660 DC20 CPH 2 gigabytes D5. It's a low consumption card, so that's good, right? Like if we power supply is important, yes, otherwise it won't turn on. What I basically need to know then, I guess, is if the new GPU consumes more than the old one. And if it consumes a lot more. Like if it's 5 watts, then that's the difference between my old CPU and my new one, which, you know, the new one uses 10 watts less on full load. So power requirements. $450 is the minimum requirement for the 660. The new one then, which is a is this the XT? No. No XT. $500 watt. We recommend a 500 watt power supply unit. Yeah. So I think it should be. From what I can hear from looking online and what I see in the chat, it seems to be that this power supply should be able to handle everything. Again, I'm not an expert, please don't take my advice. But that's what it sounds like to me. Wattage on both the CPU as well as the GPU is down, and it's down by quite a lot. On the GPU it goes down 170 watts, which I mean is also nice for my energy bill. Okay, so if I now pop just the back one. I'm gonna leave the front open still, maybe? Oh, this is never gonna work. I'm going to temporarily push all of these cables forward. I think it's the best way to do this. This one should go behind those cables. Did I just, no. So this goes behind all of this mess. And then up. Oh man, connecting this hard drive is probably the most difficult thing about this whole build process. There we are. Now, does it fasten enough? Cable needs to go fasten there. And then I might be able to The annoying bit about this case is that there's like 10 bits that needs to match up before you can actually slide in the back. I think nowadays there's much better ways of doing this. Ooh, my microphone. The table is a little bit in the way and it's also falling over. I'm sorry, I'm moving the mic. That's never a good idea. Okay, so it needs to. I can barely see where it goes. And then this is in the way. Yeah, I need to spend a little bit more time pushing everything in. Bong, yes. Microphone issues here. This goes right here then. This. Under there into this again. This goes through here. Trying to put as much of the stuff like to the side. I guess I could put this whole bit together here. That would help. I have one or two like ties for it. They're not really zip ties, those are the one that you manually twist around. Which I guess is fine. Should have another one there on the table. Which I could then use to... Right, isn't there here one more? I guess not. Oh, I could snatch this one, maybe. I mean, this cable will probably stay there, yeah. And then I can go push this back in here. And hopefully connect all of this back together like so, and then push all of that into the case when I'm actually putting on the back. Okay. I think with a little bit of pushing it in, this is so fucking annoying. Getting all parts of the panel in there with all of the cables in. This ridge on it which doesn't help. I'm gonna slightly move my PC around like this. I again cannot really see the scenes here. I should go back like that. Is the laptop streaming this live stream? Yes. So I have a laptop streaming the live stream, which is doing the other camera as well. This one. This is my laptop webcam, right? So then the phone is just for the chat, basically. For chat reading only, yes. Before turning it on, sit down, take a few deep, relaxing breaths. I will, of course, of course. Okay, so this is the situation right now. This needs to be pushed in when I put the backplate on. Right, you can see here there's 5 grooves for some reason. Only 3 of them need to be filled. The design of this thing boggles me, because there is, you can see it right here, it is dirty. I should more clean this off while I'm here. Okay, it's a lot cleaner. There's this bridge, so this goes below, and it serves no function, I think, other than pushing in all of these cables, which I don't want to be pushed. This, because it lines up this ridge goes right across here, right where all of my cables are. I mean, that's where the power supply is, so that's where they come out. There's not really much that I can do about this, but pray that it all fits. Okay, so the front is in. No. And now the back is in here. And now you see what's happening here? I might actually have it. That feels flush. It's bulging in the middle here. There might be another thing that needs to go in there. But this is good enough. I mean, this part of the PC is not that important aesthetically. This is under the desk. So it's behind my trash can as well. My trash can is like right in front here, and then this is obviously the front of the PC. So now I can hopefully push back some of the cables a bit more, clean it up a bit. We'll make it look ever so slightly nicer. If I push this under there, push it down, this one as well. Okay. Front I/O can get pushed in here and hide there. I mean, it's not the cleanest build in the world, but it does look nice. I can pop this on here and give a little final overview before we try and turn it on. Which will be a scary moment for me, as you said. I'm gonna need some time to breathe a little bit and hope that I don't waste 1100 euros on a PC that doesn't work. But I think everything will be fine. I'll finally tie this up a little bit to make that more aesthetically pleasing. Did that unplug? No. Okay, so now that looks more like a single cable. I guess it's time to try it, which means that I need to find a monitor. Oh, I'm gonna need to find, ooh, This might be an issue. I've never thought about this. The connections are obviously different from my old GPU, which means that I need to go into the store probably, buy myself some new cables. Maybe even, it might mean that my oldest monitor won't work, because I don't know if that has HDMI. Because this is all HDMI, right? Like, or DisplayPort or whatever. It should at least be able to handle 3 monitors. I'll get a monitor and the keyboard and the mouse, and then we'll see if we can boot it. Now a bit of a thing that... Does this mean then that this has only one HDMI input? So, yeah. Which means that the rest is DisplayPort. Or are there more ports under here that I'm currently covering? Oh, you can take that out. No, this is it. There's one HDMI input and 3 DisplayPort. Which means that I need to see if everything actually fits. There's HDMI to DVI adapters. Perfect. That's what I want. I need to get the power supply for... Okay, here's the power supply for shouldn't there be at least 2 HDMIs on the GPU? That's a good question. I mean, this is what I have. This is DisplayPort, this also. This is HDMI, and then there's another DisplayPort. I mean, it will probably work. I would... Okay, what is this then? What connection is it if it's not... Because these are all definitely 100% different connections. There's no way that that fits an HDMI cable, right? No, because it has the little brackets going up. Also, it has just like one triangle instead of the 2 that the HDMI has. I might be able to zoom in a little bit on it, so you can see a bit better the differences. I'll put my tripod down a bit. Can you see how they're different? I think this is HDMI, right? Because this fits the HDMI cable. Plunk. Does this one not? It doesn't feel like it's supposed to go in there. No. That's a curious choice indeed. Which means that I need DisplayPort to DVI adapters probably, and maybe even VGA, which is the old blue one, if you remember. I mean, I need one for this blue adapter for the other monitor. Oh, my tripod is now messing up again. Let me put this back to where it was. We will soon get to booting this thing, I promise. I just need to make sure that it all works. When it looks different, it might be different. Yes, I agree. Okay, let's set this up like so, so I have a place. This is slipping and falling. It's gonna be fun matching all of the different monitor ports to whatever bullshit I have on the back of this GPU. I might have to do one monitor for a little bit. This is going to be something I'll have to get used to from going back from 3. But at least for the installation part, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. How am I going to do this? Oh, one final question maybe. Since I have an SSD in there which used to be a system drive, isn't it better that I temporarily remove that? Lagging. Is that just me or is that the stream? Yeah, that might have just been me. I'll put the phone here. Yeah, I want to enter obviously into the BIOS. So my question is, do I remove that SSD temporarily? Do you think that's a good idea? I think it is, but I don't know if it's 100% necessary, because obviously I don't want to go into the back again and have to open that up and everything. I'll have to turn off some of the lights in order to plug everything into this socket here. We get another cable. The model to be specific. I mean, I think this thing could handle 4K, no issues. The problem is that I don't have a 4K monitor. So even if I were to edit in 4K, there's no way I could record anything in 4K. Even like my desktop and stuff like that, that won't render in 4K. Or that won't record in 4K because the desktop will be 1080p. Okay. What I then need to know is, first of all, I need to put in the keyboard before I boot this. And then what I would need to know is the key to press to get into the boot drive selection thing. Okay, let's plug this in. Moment of truth, guys. We're going in. I'll put this. Okay, so there's the light that shines on the PC itself. We don't need that anymore. I don't know what the because there's the laptop and then there's the screen to boot. I guess we could put it like this and then put me in there as well, like so. You can see me on two different places. You can see me up in the top and also like below in the sides. You can see the laptop me version. Should probably move this like that so it's not too distracting. It's in the manual. Let's look that up. Let's look that up and then what is all of this? Do not boot before installation is completed. No shit. Before booting, boot the device. Okay, F11. This keyboard might be broken, but we'll find out soon enough. I just don't want it to boot into that SSD because that has the old system still on it, and I think that might be a problem. I am going to turn it's delete for BIOS, yes, but yeah, okay, we can go delete then, because that's where I need to go. I'm going to flip the power switch, guys. Nothing is exploding. Everything's still looking fine. She's turned on. Pressing delete now. Seeing if this boots into anything. Screen is not turning on. Still just pressing delete, sitting here. Nothing else. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. We are somewhere. CPU temperature looks good, motherboard temperature looks good. It's telling me I have a Ryzen. And it's telling me I have 32 gigabytes. I need a mouse for this BIOS. There's a mouse pointer there. Wait a second. Do I have a mouse here? I do. Let's plug this in. Look if it recognizes everything. Yes, we will. Do I need to install or update the BIOS? Yes. The motherboard came with a warning for AMD that I should be updating the BIOS. Which, to be quite honest, I don't know how to do. I believe you do that through like a flash drive, and you install some, or you put some kind of firmware file on there. What do I want to see here? Like hardware monitor probably, see what's in there. It's telling me the system fans are all, I could connect 3 more fans to this if I wanted to. Where does it give me readouts for the temperature? Is that this? Oh, it's below here. CPU 40 degrees, system 30. That's good, right? PCIe, which is the graphics card. Oh yeah, you can see the graph if you click it, it changes the graph. You can also look at the different fan speeds, but that doesn't really matter. Does it see all the drives? DVD drive, USB hard drive. This is boot priority. Samsung Boot Manager. Yeah, okay, so this, now it's on boot, it's looking at booting into that drive that I don't want it to. So let's go to storage, by the way, here. We have the new SSD. We have this thing, which is my DVD. This is my DVD or CD reader, I think. This is the old SSD. And then this is the other hard drive. Yes. Yes, it seems like it's finding everything. Okay. Okay. So what that means is, what I want to do is the following. I want to install Windows 10 on this thing, which I have to make a USB for and everything. Then I need to activate it and start installing programs. And then the only other thing that I need to do is, I have a backup of this disk, but that means that I have to probably format it. I'll probably go over it again and just see if I can get all of the files out of it again, because since I made that backup, I did spend another day or 2, I think, working on stuff and stuff like that. So ideally I would get a copy of that disk again, go into the files. I don't know if you can from one Windows system drive look into the files of another unused Windows system drive, but I'll have to find out. Do flash the BIOS before installation of the OS. Yes. Is it recommending updating BIOS after installing? Yes. So there was a problem with AMD in particular with their BIOS and firmware and everything, and that has been fixed in a later update because of stuttering in Windows, the newer versions of it, anything after Windows 7. basically, or maybe even Vista. So they recommend, I got here with my motherboard. Please contact the manufacturer. Please contact the manufacturer of AMD socket AM4 motherboards for guidance on how to update to the latest BIOS. They tell you that you should update to the latest BIOS. Is compatible with AMD socket AM4 motherboards when a compatible BIOS update has been installed. So I need to... Am I using Windows 11? No, I'm going to use Windows 10. Some of the programs that I use for audio routing have issues on Windows 11, that's what I've heard. Well, to be honest, for today's stream, seeing it's been like 3.5 hours, I'm going to stop it doing it as a stream. Yeah, I could probably do the update maybe. I would need to turn it off then, the PC, I guess. Can I just... Yeah, then I can just go into here, I guess. Is there a way to just turn the PC off from here? I don't see it. Or can I just turn it off? I mean, I should just be able to turn it off, right? Because what I don't want is it booting into that hard disk, as I said. And then once I have the other Windows installed on the other SSD, then it should be okay. Yeah, I'll quickly do a BIOS update, but I'll do the Windows installation and everything else off stream. I think that's better. So I'll have to see, Malogify, what you sent me in terms of BIOS update. Wait, I cannot go into my USB on the laptop because it only has 2 ports, and one is for this camera and the other is for the microphone. So I would love it if Malogify has a recommendation on the USB boot thing for the BIOS update, which I mean is motherboard dependent, so I would probably either also have to look for it, right? I hope my mic is still working. Can I check? Yeah, so it's still working. Nice. So I have a new PC. I'm very happy. Let me sit down so you guys can see me. I'm very happy. I want to thank everybody for helping me build this. I mean, you guys were very helpful with all of the recommendations in the chat, and that's very nice. I like that I have the kind of community where it's less like trolly and more just, you know, people being helpful also in Discord. I mean, we joke around as well sometimes. We do have like fun bits and stuff like that. But generally speaking, what I like about my community is that there's always somebody available in Discord, in comments, in wherever. If I have a problem or somebody else has a problem, there's always at least one person that tends to respond and interact with the person a little bit. Sometimes they don't fix it, and sometimes that it's okay, like they get no response or whatever. But there's always somebody there, I feel, which is really, really nice. So I want to thank you guys for that. I'll look at the chat one more time, and then I'm going to finish the stream for today. Was my link sent? Your link was not sent. You would need to send it through Discord. You cannot send links in YouTube chat. Unfortunately, I have to have that disabled because otherwise there's like bots that look for chats with that feature on and they just like spam crypto schemes or whatever. I've had it before also on Twitch, back when I used to stream on Twitch. There was a time that I had links enabled and that happened, and I almost immediately turned it off, and I've turned it off here on YouTube as well. But yeah, I have a new PC. I'm very happy. I want, again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the stream. Hopefully now this means that I can get back into normal content as well very, very soon. Obviously there's going to be a few days that I need to take to actually install everything that I need to run my whole music operation, all of the plugins, all of the different programs. My whole routing needs to be redone. On the old PC I had a very complex routing setup for audio, in the sense that everything was sent to a program which would send it to itself and then output it to the speakers. So a whole mess of things to install still, so it will take a little bit of time for me to actually get up and running back into editing and producing content and producing music and everything. But that's a few days, and then hopefully everything will also go faster, like rendering times will go up. I won't have as many problems with Ableton lagging and stuff like that, and that's really what I'm doing this for. I just wanted a bit more power out of my PC, especially before going into rendering all of those music videos, which thanks to this new GPU I have now. So yeah, that's everything. Thank you again for sticking by, and this was